Hey y'all, this is Reggie, aka the Reginator. I wanted to talk about Alexandria Cortez and the craziness that keeps spewing out of her mouth. I still don't understand how people take her seriously, like people in the Democratic Party. I know the Republicans and conservatives like myself, we have a good time making fun of her, but I don't understand how people who are Democrats, who are supposedly high IQ, smart, regular people could take her seriously. I mean, the stuff that comes out of her mouth is blatantly crazy and makes no sense. I mean, the new Green Deal that she proposes that hikes up taxes like crazy, and just even some of the stuff she says about universal income and jobs for, everyone, and well, not the part about jobs for everyone, but the part about universal health care, universal income, and just basically saying everything for free. For not just American citizens, but for anybody who comes in the United States. Like, she says stuff like that, and obviously it makes no sense, because it's like, who's going to pay for that? She doesn't come up with a good plan on who's going to pay for it all. I mean, I saw that infamous CNN interview with Jake Tapper when Jake Chopper confronts her and says, if everything that you want to happen is going to cost $40 trillion a year. And she's like, how are you going to pay for that? And she kind of just has no answer. Just stumbles on her words and talks about funeral costs and craziness like that. And I'm like, how do people still support this girl? I mean, I understand how she got elected. She's young. She's a minority. And the guy that she was running against was an old, uninteresting guy. So I totally understand how she won. But people taking her seriously now, I mean, even Whoopi Goldberg the other day had to calm down her crazy. I mean, even she said, you know, to Alexandria or Cortez on The View, she said that, you need to stop pooping on people on your own team. Like, you need to stop. You're saying crazy stuff, and you need to sit down and learn from your elders, which she's still not doing. And so I'm like, wow, why is people even listening to her? I'm like, dang, man. She's young. She has no experience. Only experience she has is a bartender. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She says crazy stuff. And people are going to tell me, well, Trump does the same thing. Except for Trump actually makes differences. Like, he actually does have qualifications as in business. The reason why people wanted Trump to be a president is because we needed somebody to handle our money in the United States. We needed somebody to, get the economy back. And he has experience building businesses. That's the exact kind of person you would want to be in the office to handle a situation like that. Alexandria Cortez, she just spews out, hippie talking points with no real plan, no real idea of what she's talking. She doesn't even know basic economics. Like, it's really, really bad. Like, really bad. I mean, every time she opens her mouth, I can't help but laugh. And also, people say, well, she's easy on the eyes. That's probably why. And I'm like, that girl is not pretty. She is not pretty at all. I don't know what anybody's talking about. I'm not going to go as far and say that she's ugly, but she got them bug eyes, that teeth. You can see all her gums and the nose, and she has a weird looking face and them eyes. She got them gremlin eyes. I'm like, dude, she's not pretty at all. What are you guys talking about? I mean, when I was younger, I wouldn't date her. I mean, I know I'm not the best looking guy right now, but I looked better when I was younger. I promise you that. But Alexandria Cortez is not pretty. And what I've noticed that a lot of these new Democratic officials that are coming up, they look weird, bruh. Like, physically. I hate to put everything on physical appearances, but I normally don't notice that kind of stuff, but they all look really weird. Like, their faces are weird, and their eyes are weird, and they don't look human. They look kind of alien. It's weird. I'm not even saying that because I'm Republican. I'm saying that because they look weird. I mean, look at that lady who called Trump a mother effer. You seen a picture of her? She's a weird looking. She looks like a man with a wig on. Like, her face is weird. The nose and the body's shape is weird. It's like all these guys have the weird looks, like their head looks weird, which probably, I think, affects their thinking. Because, you know, like, I hate to say it, but a lot of Down syndrome, you know, you've seen Down syndrome kids, and I feel like I have a right to say this because I have people in my family who are special needs, and I'm not saying this out of disrespect because, again, I have special needs people in my family. I love them to death. But a lot of times Down syndrome people are people who have mental disorders. They have misshapen heads and misshapen features. And you notice a lot of these new Democratic officials, they have really misshapen faces. It's not like symmetrical. It's weird. And maybe that has something to do with it. And a lot of these SJW types, a lot of these social justice warriors, they look weird, man. They're like extremely overweight or have weird faces. They look weird, bruh. I mean, and it's crazy because, like, I guess a lot of these SJWs, and they'd be the people in the. What's crazy about today's day and age is that the people who were geeks and who were probably bullied when they were kids, that you see in all the movies, you know, that the people who were bullied, and you see all these movies that are kind of like standing up for people who were bullied and geeks, and how they're the virtuous ones and they're being bullied and you need to stick up for them, and you do. But the geeks and the nerds are the ones who are being the bullies now. Like, Silicon Valley is taking away our free speech. The technology companies, Google, Facebook, YouTube, they're taking away our free speech. They're censoring people. They're shutting people down that speak their mind. And those are all the geeks and weird people and antisocials and gamers and just weird people that were growing up and didn't have much friends, that were, you know, bullies, that were being bullied. And now they grew up and they took over the world, essentially. You know, and a lot of the narrative. And they're the ones who are bullying people now. They're bullying people out of their platforms. People in social media, like, you know, Milo and Alex Jones and Gavin and Sargon of Akkad. The geeks now rule the world, and they're bullying everybody else. They're forcing people to do and believe what they want about pronouns and transgender rights and gender dysphoria and all the stuff about what they feel is racist or discrimination. They're forcing their viewpoints on the regular on regular people, and it's weird how that turned out. Like, really, it is. The people who were picked on are the people who are picking on us now, and it's interesting. It really is. And I mean, I knew when I was younger that, you know, the geeks that were getting bullied, I'm like, these are the guys that are getting straight A's, so they're the ones that are going to end up like ruling the world, which that's what happened. And the people in technology and all that, and technology is pretty much what rules the world today, and they're the ones that are now turning it over on us and on the people who were kind of regular and have kind of like, I didn't kind of necessarily go through the same things that they went through, and they're like pushing an agenda on us. They're pushing and taking away free speech. They're taking away rights. They're the ones that are doing it. And it's like, wow, I didn't see that coming. I just think it's interesting, man. Again, a lot of these people, these Democratic officials and SJWs, they're just, I mean, you could tell they were geeks growing up. Like, you could tell that they were picked on. Because, I mean, they look weird. And they act weird. And they talk weird. It's just weird. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being weird, but I just think it's funny how that turned out. It's interesting. And again, I know this video was supposed to be about just Alexandria or Cortez, but I think she's just a symptom of what's going on across the board in the Democratic Party. And again, this is interesting. Politics have never been this interesting before in my life. I mean, it feels like I'm watching a soap opera every day, I swear. And it's interesting to see what's going to come from more from her and from people like her. You know, people like Rashid. I can't even pronounce her last name. And so, wow, you guys, we are in for a ride these next couple of years. We're going to be in for a ride. And it'll be interesting to see. Yep, that's all I got to say. You guys are awesome. Subscribe to support. And I will talk to you guys later.